What is going on in Phoenix right now? Before the season started, they had so much hope and they actually got off to a great start. But then everything fell apart. They started off the trade deadline trying to trade for Jimmy Butler to pair him with Kevin Durant. And the trade deadline ended with the Suns trying to trade Kevin Durant to a different team. And that was the beginning of the end for Phoenix. Now it's almost a certainty that the Suns will trade Durant during the offseason. But here's where things get a little bit more strange. One of the top teams listed to trade for Durant this offseason, if he's made available by the Suns, are the New York Knicks. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you have notifications turned on. So that way, anytime we drop new content, you get notified. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are one of the favorites to land a superstar. If you're a Knicks fan, you're focused right now on the postseason and after All-Star break because you want to know where the Knicks are going to end up in terms of seeding and who they're going to be facing in the first round. But if you're a team like the Phoenix Suns, your mind is only set right now on the offseason because you know there's a disaster waiting for you once you get there. And for the Suns, that disaster is in the form of Kevin Durant, who is absolutely gone this offseason because according to these latest reports from ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst, Kevin Durant's time in Phoenix is now up. Shout out to Clutch Points on the app X for giving us the following information. According to Brian Windhorst, Kevin Durant is probably going to get traded this summer. He knows it. The Suns know it. The rest of the league know it. They are going to enjoy him while they have him. This is what Brian Windhorst had to say on Kevin Durant's potential exit from Phoenix this summer. And he's not the only NBA insider stating this. According to Shams from Evan Cedardy from Sports Illustrated, we have the following information here. There will be some hard conversations between the Suns and Kevin Durant this offseason on his future with the team. After quietly shopping Durant and almost trading him to the Warriors, many around the NBA believe he will indeed be traded this summer for a haul. The Suns are absolutely crazy. They have lost their mind. What they just did, it would be the equivalent of the Knicks going out there and attempting to trade Mikal Bridges the first year they have him. It just doesn't make sense. You're not going to get back what you expect for him when you try to trade him in year one. That's the first thing. The second thing is, why would you pivot so hard from trying to trade for Jimmy Butler to pair him with Kevin Durant by ending the trade deadline, trying to trade Kevin Durant to another team? How does that even happen? That doesn't make any sense. And by doing that, you have now shot yourself in the foot because now everybody thinks Kevin Durant does not want to be in Phoenix. And even Kevin Durant's probably looking at them and thinking, you just traded for me. Now you're trying to trade me away to another team? What did I do? What else did you expect of me? Now that entire relationship in Phoenix is toxic and they need to get away from it. And now the next natural question that comes up is they need to trade Kevin Durant. Okay, what team are they trading Kevin Durant to? Well, shout out to the odd makers because they already answered that question for the Knicks and every other team as well too. Shout out to NBA Central on the app X for giving us the following information. According to the odd makers at Bovada Official, they give us the following information. The Houston Rockets are the favorites to land Kevin Durant if he's not with the Suns next season. Take a look at these odds. The Rockets, plus 350. The New York Knicks, that's right, the New York Knicks, with the second best odds to land Kevin Durant at plus 500. Then it's the Warriors at plus 850. Then the Heat, OKC, Dallas Mavericks, the Clippers, the Wolves, the Wizards, and then rounding it out with the Toronto Raptors at plus 1,600. The Knicks being listed as one of the teams for KD, one of the top teams, mind you, is pretty shocking. Everyone knows New York is limited with the assets they have right now. So we can't even pull off a trade of this magnitude. But it does make you wonder why the Knicks and KD are constantly mentioned together. A lot of people remember that comment from KD, New York ain't cool, or something to that effect. We all remember it, and we all took offense to it when we heard it. Now, personally speaking, I felt like that was more Kyrie Irving's influence than KD. But I will say this, at this point in time, no matter how much you want KD, no matter how many people want KD on this team, no matter how many people think KD is the missing piece for this team, we cannot trade for him. There is no way we can trade for him. And some people are saying in the comments right now, we definitely can. We can trade Mikal Bridges and this player and that player. Stop for a second. Just stop. If you're including Mikal, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby in any trade scenario that you're trying to put out there for the Knicks to go out there and land Kevin Durant, you can stop already. It is not going to happen. Leon Rose and this Knicks front office did not create this entire team, this championship roster, to flush it down the drain for Kevin Durant. Now, I'm not saying Kevin Durant is not a great player. He is. And if we were able to get him on this team at a reasonable cost, I would be happy to entertain it because I know the talent that Kevin Durant has. But listen to a couple of points here. His age, his injury history, his cost being the biggest factor among them all. But listen to this. Pair his cost with his history. Look at what happens when you try to trade for Kevin Durant. Number one, you have to give up a significant amount of assets. The Knicks do not have a significant amount of assets to give up to the Phoenix Suns. And likely, the Suns trading Kevin Durant, they're going to want picks back. The Knicks don't have any picks. We traded all of those picks to Brooklyn in that Mikal Bridges deal. We all understand that. So we don't have the assets to pull off this deal for Kevin Durant. But even if we did, would you really want to pull it off? And maybe, let's say in a year's time, Kevin Durant is not happy and he requests a trade. If that happens, your franchise is going to be worse because of it. Because number one, you're never going to be able to get the value back that you traded away for Kevin Durant in the first place. That's one. Number two, you're going to have to sell another team to take Kevin Durant off your hands and hope and pray what he did to you, he doesn't do to another team. By the way, good luck in doing that because every team around the league is looking at Kevin Durant in that exact same way. You just got traded from Brooklyn to Phoenix. Now you might leave Phoenix for another team. Why would I go after you, try to trade for you, and then if you're not happy, you can leave, maybe request a trade or tell everybody that you're not going to re-sign with the Knicks once you can't, and then you're going to be a free agent and go to another team, and the Knicks are never going to be able to get value back for you in that situation. I don't want the Knicks to be in that situation. I don't want Kevin Durant to be in that situation. So I think it's best for all parties if we do not entertain this trade at all. I am not sure why the odd makers continue to put the Knicks at the top of the list for a potential Kevin Durant trade. All I know is the Knicks do not have the assets at this point in time to make that deal happen unless they pivot, kind of like how the Suns did on a couple of players that we love on this team. But I don't think Leon Rose and this Knicks front office is going to do that. They worked extremely hard trying to put this roster together. We are only in year one. You're telling me after 1 year, they're going to blow it all up, try to go for Kevin Durant, and then see what that team looks like? I can't buy that. Right now, I feel like the Knicks are going to give this team, this roster, 2 to 3 years before they make any major, listen to that, any major trades. But smaller trades, smaller signings, I can see that happening because it's about supporting the roster that we have right now and our core players. And right now, Kevin Durant is not part of that. And honestly, I can never see Kevin Durant being part of that for this Knicks team. His age, his injury history, and his cost, that just doesn't mix well with Leon Rose. And if you know Leon like I do, cost is the biggest thing. And KD's cost is off the charts. Thanks, but no thanks. There is no way that the Knicks will be able to pull off this trade. I appreciate the odd makers involving the Knicks and listing the Knicks. But again, it's thanks, but no thanks. because we do not have the assets to make this trade happen. But what about you guys? What do you think about the odd makers continuously linking Kevin Durant to the Knicks? And what do you think about them stating here that the Knicks have the second best odds to land Kevin Durant if he leaves the Phoenix Suns this offseason? Their odds are at plus 500. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.